social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective.
Grace and peace, everybody. Good morning, grace and peace. This is a very interesting story. You know, Zohran Mamdani is running for mayor of New York, and he's making big push because he's a socialist. But do you know how rich this guy is? Check this out.
Zohran Mamdani ties the knot in a 3-day high-security celebration atop a Ugandan hill, but as the drums played, so did disapproval. In a nation mourning, some say the timing hit a sour note. Here's more in our next report.
The man who is poised to become New York City's next mayor has made headlines not for politics, but for pageantry. 33-year-old Zohran Mamdani, progressive firebrand, just wrapped a 3-day high-security wedding extravaganza at his family's sprawling estate in Uganda. Mamdani tied the knot with 27-year-old Syrian artist Rama Duwaji, a union first blessed in Dubai and New York, now celebrated on African soil with cultural flair, music and motion. Nestled atop Buziga Hill with a panoramic view of Lake Victoria, this wasn't just any wedding. With over 20 special forces guards, cell phone jammers and an invite-only guest list of international elites, the celebration was a fortress of festivity. But even as the drums beat, whispers of discontent echoed outside the estate, critics questioning the timing of such opulence during Uganda's period of mourning for a top Supreme Court judge. However, Mamdani has faced significant backlash from netizens and Ugandan locals for hosting a lavish 3-day wedding celebration, calling it insensitive.
3 days is crazy.
The son of filmmaker Meera Nair and academic Mahmood Mamdani, Zohran's life straddles continents and controversies. As he eyes City Hall, this global celebration marks not just a personal milestone, but a moment the world watched. Bureau Report, India Today.
That is absolutely bonkers because you know he talks about how the rich need to pay their fair share. This dude's family is pretty well off. Let me bring in the video, the clip. Well, let me bring in the clip of his family. His family is pretty well off. He does protest too much, I think is the proper term that we could say. This is craziness. All right. Inside the Socialist Zohran Mamdani's posh wedding bash in secluded Ugandan compound, complete with cell phone jammer systems and armed guards. Socialist New York mayoral frontrunner Zohran Mamdani celebrated his recent nuptials in a lavish 3-day affair at his family's ritzy secluded Ugandan compound, complete with mass security guards and a cell phone jamming system, the Post has learned. The gates of the bustling private compound, which sits in a wealthy Buziga Hill area outside of the capital of Kampala, were heavily guarded with military-style masked men this week. That's interesting. He had masked men, but he doesn't want masked ICE agents. Continue. With guests streaming in and partying until midnight, according to the sources in the town who wish to remain anonymous for security reasons. Mamdani eloped with artist and amateur Roma Duwali, who's 27 years old, in February. He told the social media followers on Sunday that he was heading to his homeland to celebrate with his wealthy family, filmmaker wife, and professor dad, who owned the Buziga Hills property. The neighborhood is home of the Uganda's richest, including billionaire businessman Joffrey and a city tycoon who stakes his real estate, tourism, petroleum, and infrastructure and housing neighboring the Mamdanis easily fetch more than $1 billion. There he is with his wife. I'll leave the link to this down in the description as well. The home is set back on the road and sits on 2 acres of lush gardens surrounded by trees, has breathtaking panoramic views of Lake Victoria, and features at least 3 security gates. This week, it was transformed into a party pad with Christmas lights strung into the canopies of the trees and the gardens and music blaring, sources said. On Tuesday, buses Several Mercedes and Range Rover 4 were seen driving into the compound. That must be a type of Range Rover. I don't know what a Range Rover 4 is. Security was extremely light, sources said. Outside the Mamdani house were more than 20 special forces command unit guards, some in masks, and there was phone jamming system set up, and all of the strictly invite-only Mamdani event. One witness confirmed to the Post. One gate had around 9 guards stationed at it. There's only one way in, right? But again, this is the guy that wants New York. I don't wonder, does he think that these people don't pay their fair share? Mamdani's parents, Nair, who is 67, and her husband, Muhammad Mamdani, 78, okay, an anti-Israel political theorist, live in the estate, but also split their time between New York and New Delhi. Nair's Instagram page includes one post featuring a coconut tree planted when Mamdani was born. A native of Kampala, Mamdani moved to New York when he was 7, became a U.S. citizen in 2018. He announced his marriage to Diwali, an illustrator. Earlier this year, the pair met on a dating app Hinge and now share a rent-stabilized apartment in Astoria. They share a rent-stabilized apartment, which is crazy. On Tuesday, revelers enjoyed fruit juices, a typical addition to the Indian-style events, as well as dancing music from local DJ, sources told the Post. One witness reported making out the NYC Democratic mayoral candidate's voice on the microphone addressing guests later that night, with the party ending after midnight. Then on Friday, inside the compound, there was a military-style tents being taken down when the party was finished. Then what looked like Mamdani's personal security guards took over at the gates. Flowers were also left under pile on the ground near the security gates. The property is isolated enough that some locals weren't even aware that the 3-day wedding extravaganza. Local children had been watching the Mamdani on TV, and everyone was talking about him, but not about the wedding. Another resident said, "For us, it's just about survival. We're just trying to win the bread and make sure that the families are okay." We had heard that Mamdani was going to be mayor of New York, and he had made it over to America. Another added, "We want to know now if we can get free visas to the U.S. and travel to New York like he did." Ooh. While the Mamdani family celebrated, neighbors were in mourning for the former Ugandan Supreme Court judge, George, who had lived a stone's throw from the Mamdani's place and died on July 14th. Ugandan President Yuri also came to pay his respects to George. The street was blocked as the president's cars, and locals said some found Mamdani's wedding bash insensitive. Because of the culture here, it is insensitive to have a wedding celebration the same week as mourning. Or that's the name of what they call a wedding, a mourning celebration. As it's called here, one told the Post. People are still in mourning. The people added, pointing in the direction of his house about 3 minutes away from Mamdani's property. He has not even been buried, and we have his friends coming to give his last words and mourn before the burial next week. Yet Mamdani is celebrating his wedding for 3 days, the sources continue. It's unclear if George also attended, or the president also attended Mamdani's wedding. Mamdani did not respond to requests for comment to the Post. The Queen's Assemblyman confirmed in an Instagram video that he would stay in Uganda until the end of the month. The Queen's Assembly. Okay. Since we will undoubtedly read about the trip to New York, the trip in the New York Post, Estala on the front page, here are a few of the humble suggestions for headlines, Mamdani quipped while holding a slew of newspaper covers, one which read MIA Mamdani in Africa. All right. Yo, I mean, New York, this is your guy. New York, this is your guy. And I mean, the dude is filthy rich. Family's filthy rich. He wants y'all to not be rich. He wants y'all to pay your fair share, if you will. Just make sure he does the same. Thank you so much. Comment down below. What do you think about this? Do you think that this is inappropriate? Do you think, hey, they had already planned it? Do you think, well, they eloped in February. Why do they have to get married this week? Let me know what you think down in the comments. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for liking the video. Thank you so much for rocking with us. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Take care.